welcome to episode 80 of Legends of Grayskull, the ho-ho-ho fan podcast that dives deep into history and mystery, the magic and mythology of He-Man, She-Ra, Eternia, Etheria, Nordor, Primus, New Adventures, Old Adventures, Ladybird, UK Annuals, and Christmas Adventures. I'm your host, Matthew Dooch, along with Santa Shawn. Shawn, how are we doing today?
Ho, ho, ho. I was doing my best Christmas story. I don't know if that worked.
I thought you were just insulting me. So
no. That's I'll message you behind the scenes and give you guff about it. No,
call me a hobo.
Not too bad. Not too bad. It is the holiday season, so merriment ensues as always. How about you? You went to a football game the other night. How'd that? I didn't watch any
Last
of
night.
the.
Yes.
So how did that go?
They lost badly, but it was a good time. My Bears.
Yeah.
I've made it to a game every season except for last year, obviously, for like the past 5 years. So it's always a good time out there. And I mean, 17-9 final score. It wasn't terrible, but at the same time, it was terrible. We need to get rid of Nagy. This means nothing to you, but out there, I know Casey. Casey knows what I'm talking about. So, next year we gotta get a Legends of Grayskull fantasy football league going. That'd be absolutely amazing. And we're gonna make you play, Shawn, even with knowing nothing, and it's gonna be great. We'll whip your ass every week.
Basically, I'll lose a ton of money there, and then the Horsemen will be mad because I'm not getting my pre-orders done. And my wife will get mad because I'm not using the money for the pre-orders, I'm using it to do that. Yeah, I can just see that trickle-down effect working.
No, Lord, we do a free league. Don't worry.
Well,
but you got to be a fan, and we actually that does sound like a really good idea, guys. If you're into fantasy football, next year we're doing this. I know Casey'd be down. So yeah, it'd be fun. We do a free league. You got to be a Legends of Grayskull listener, and every episode we can post the rankings and make fun of each other. It'll be great.
And if you want to watch a person that doesn't have a clue what he's doing, it'll be worth the comedy, I guess, on that one. There you go.
I guess I've been in quite a few over the years, and the one that I am commissioner of, my wife played in it for many years, and she has a much greater understanding of football than you do, but she also doesn't follow it super close. She do lots of stuff like he's handsome, or I like the color of those uniforms, stuff like that. So yeah, there are alternate ways.
I don't see me going with the he's handsome, but I could see me going at least, hey, color-wise, that works for me.
We don't do it. We're all inclusive at Legends of Grayskull.
That is true. But yeah, I can't see myself going, he's handsome. That's just my perspective of it. But anyone out there who thinks he's handsome, that's completely fine by me. So there you go.
We'll leave it there.
We'll leave it there.
So yeah, we're a few days away from Christmas. This actually, we recorded this quite a bit later than we usually do. I will say, I was like you. I was listening to last year's Christmas episode, and I should have written down the number so that I could get the fans to it easily, but I don't remember. Yeah, it was a good time. It put me into the season. It was episode 51. There we go. The Holiday Spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
Couple things from that. We did talk Revelation. It was hot on our minds. Not much had been revealed yet. It was our first Christmas episode, and it featured the first comment by Mr. Skelly Vader. That was actually the first episode that he wrote into us on. So, happy anniversary, Skelly Vader from Legends of Grayskull podcast.
Yeah, very cool. It was weird listening to it, and all of a sudden, Skelly Vader, first time listener. I'm like, It feels like he's been listening the entire time. It's crazy.
And he might have been, but that was the first time he reached out to us. And
that's true.
I thought the same thing. I'm like, Skelly's been with us since forever. Like, it's been longer since 51, but
yeah.
Obviously, it had not.
Yeah, like I was saying right before we started, I mean, re-listening to that one, I was like, man, the amount of stuff that we managed to get into that episode, and it's like, it was fun. Like, that's definitely one that I would point to and say, if you want to see what we're about, take a listen to that. It isn't even like holiday themed, really. I mean, there is
we get to it,
the holidays in it, but for the most part, it does have a lot of fun geekdom in general about Masters and things. But yeah, we do have the Hallmark special, which so we got laughing pretty good re-listening to that.
We did. For those of you who are newer listeners, if you haven't checked out our back catalog, we did what if there was a Hallmark Christmas movie starring the characters from Masters of the Universe, and I threw out my pitch, Shawn threw out his pitch, and it was a fun time. That was also the one, because cheer championships are always in December. That was the one where we talked about Universal Studios and what if they did a Masters of the Universe the ride. So lots of good creative fun on episode 51, and that's when we had started doing listener comments and revelation speculation, which we will get more into that next episode. We're gonna do kind of a month after revelations. We got some stuff we want to talk about. We want to finish talking about the comics, but that's going to be episode 81, guys. But it's very interesting, and it's all I'll say for now. Listening to our comments December of last year, and after having seen Revelations, so that was interesting. On that note, I do want to throw out props to Tony Moore, aka Simba's Guard. I do have a couple emails from him, but they are both pertaining to our Revelation reviews, so I will save those for next episode as well, episode 81. It'll be a very
sounds good,
very very Revelation wrap up kind of. So it's given us time to digest. I liked how we did the second batch of reviews. If you guys check those out, those are all live now too. It's literally me and Shawn watched the episode and sat down and talked about it immediately after. So that was a lot of fun doing it that way. But so next time we'll kind of do a wrap up. We're going to rank them all and where they fit into the series. It's going to be a lot of fun. But for today, let's get into what we got today. Shawn, you pick up anything? I know it's getting close to Christmas. We're saving up for the kids. But did you get anything for yourself?
Oh, this was a pre-order from a little while back. I got me.
There you go.
My fourth Ninja Turtle, Donatello. He finally is here. So now I got all 4 of the Super 7 TMNT Ultimates Turtles, which is really cool. Yeah, I don't know which, like, honestly, out of the 4 Turtles, the one that disappointed me the most was Michelangelo.
Oh, yeah?
Because a lot of the rubbery bits were, like, glued to his arms wrong and stuff. So I had to fix him. But, like, Leo, Donnie, and Raph, they all came out perfect. So it is a close call. But I'm still going to keep those vintage heads on. I'm not going to do the new ones. I prefer those. It's really fun to have like an upgrade of what I had when I was a kid still. So
I still haven't opened up I just shipped my Mikey and my Donnie actually, so they're sitting over there. It's kind of amazing how much of this pre-order stuff is hitting in December. It's like
anyway. There's a reason. And then the other thing I got in a couple days ago actually, and I know you're going to show the one that you got off, so I'll mine's still in the box anyways. Krampus. Mine's Mythic Legion's Krampus, but he's actually figure obscura.
Yes.
Figura obscura. So he's not technically a faction in Legions. He's just there.
Wonderful Nate Barch artwork all around. So you haven't opened the box at all, or you just left it like mine
I just
is?
took off the wrap on it, and then I opened it up, and I'm like, oh, look at that. There's magnets. I really like the magnet closing of that part for
you got this
the
whole
artwork.
backdrop to.
Yep. Love it.
Yeah, it's beautiful artwork, beautiful figure.
Mm-hmm.
I just opened mine up tonight to scare the kids before bed. So
yeah.
But yeah, they and I actually haven't taken him out at all. But yeah, he is an amazing figure. They did a great job. The blacks, the reds. And then I did get the all-in, so I got the figure, I got the greeting cards, which are over there, I got the pin.
Mm-hmm.
The focus nice. In. Yeah, I almost...
Yeah, that is just cool.
And after seeing the... and then the mug. I got the coffee mug. And I've got my hot cocoa in it right now.
Nice.
But yeah, it's
kind of wish funny. I got the mug now.
It's nice. It's the black with the red logo, and then on the inside is all the red. So it's striking.
Cool. Yeah,
and the outline of the face, like the pin, and it's a nice, heavy, good quality. The one thing though, I gotta say honestly, and I imagine they did this on purpose. I'm trying to see if I can. These twist ties are like. I'm trying to get them out right quick so I can show you guys a little better. While the figure is very cool, I'd almost kind of focus in. The black is very awesome, but I almost kind of want a repaint of this head with like the blue face and the brownish, goldish horns, like the pin is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that may be what they're gonna go for eventually, because I know they said like, hey, this doesn't mean he's done necessarily now that he's sold out, but
yeah, they said it's not the last time we'll see him, but he won't be seen this way
right
the next time. So yeah, maybe that would be how they do it, and I'd actually get that one too, because like you said, I really like that color scheme as well.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I love the black and gray, but that pin is also very striking. It's just kind of unusual that they went in a decidedly different color scheme. I mean, that's not even like. I mean, I guess the horns do have kind of that highlight on it, but the face for sure, that's a blue instead of a black. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
and they love dropping their little hints. We found out that. Azazar, was on a package, 10 years before. Not 10 years, they haven't been around 10 years, but, he was in the clouds on one of the packages long before he was actually revealed as a figure. They love doing stuff like that. They've got this line planned out far enough ahead, so. I am scared to put the tail in, though. I've heard lots of stories about the tail, so I'm going to.
There's a lot of that,
and then heat up.
The other thing that the backpack whatever the basket yes apparently there are people having trouble with that depending on how much twine they have for it or something, so that's one of the other things that I've heard caution about. But honestly, the tail part doesn't bother me. If you've already gotten a Mythic Legions that has a tail, you kind of know the procedure. So I think for some of the people that are posting in the Cabal right now, these are people that are probably really new to the line and haven't had many figures like that yet.
Yeah. I just say I'm not going to try and put it in now. I'm going to wait on that. Yeah. And just make sure you guys open your baskets. That's all I'll say here.
Yeah. That got spoiled for me, actually, and that was one of the few spoilers where I got annoyed when I found it out, because I had no idea I could scroll and see that right when it happened. I'm like, oh, okay. Didn't even have a chance.
I didn't know what was in there.
Mm-hmm.
But I did hear that something was.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it would have been even cooler if I'd had no inkling, but that was still pretty cool. So
Mm-hmm.
it's speaking of spoilers, really quick before I get on to the next thing here, I actually managed to make it all the way today, almost 5 days after it premiered, to see Spider-Man No Way Home without anything being spoiled. And
Nice.
that was amazing. I can't believe I was able to. This is probably the first
That's
Marvel movie that something hasn't been spoiled for me, and that don't worry, guys. I'm keeping it safe for all of you. I'm going to, I didn't want to be spoiled. I'm going to keep it that way for you guys, but there was a lot of stuff in there that could have been, and none of it was. And if you guys haven't seen it yet, go see it. Go see it. See it in the theaters. I am honestly want to go see it again in the theaters before it's gone, and it's been a long time since there's been a movie I've wanted to see twice in the theater like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, probably since I was in high school. Honestly, you'd see that movie and you're just like, man, I gotta see that again before it leaves theaters. And this is one of those for me.
Yeah, pretty much since having kids, I've never been able to see a movie a second time, with the exception of like a handful. And this was one of those movies. I got to see it on Saturday with my kids, and
I took the whole family.
I missed probably the first fifth of the movie because my kids wanted stuff at the snack bar, and we got in there too close to the showing time. So then I ended up missing a lot of the beginning, and then my daughter is trying to fill me in on what she's seeing, and I'm just fuming because I'm like, I paid money to watch this. I wanted to see this. You guys are killing me because you want to keep getting popcorn and pretzels and blah 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 blah. But that was the only big hiccup. After that, I got to sit through the rest of it, and I was complete. I don't even know the right words to use to describe how it felt to watch that movie for me, other than I felt like I was a kid again. And at the same time, the Spider-Man movies hit when I was in my early 20s, so I wasn't even a kid.
Yeah.
But it just had this, like, the whole movie had this, like, culmination of a lot of things that I feel like even Endgame didn't even manage to do, which really shocked me. This felt like a journey. This felt like you're witnessing. It almost felt like It's a Wonderful Life or something. You're watching all these elements of things working together, and you're like, I didn't know I needed this until I saw this movie, and it just it works.
I have not been the biggest fan of the Tom Holland movies. Don't remember, I don't think they're bad movies, but if you listened recently to Legends of Grayskull Off-World number 3, I have definitely held this set of movies well below, the previous iterations of the franchise, and they rectified a lot of that with this movie.
I was wondering how you were going to take, because it was funny. You posted Off-World today, I think it was.
It was just today. Yes, and it was just. And I've been meaning to post it for like literally 2 weeks now, and I just had not had the time. And then today I'm like, I'm just going to get it out there, and I got it out there, and it didn't even occur to me how kind of poetic that was with us going to see the movie today.
Exactly.
But yeah, we need to do Off-World number 4 has to be Spider-Man No Way Home. Let's just put it there.
I agree. I completely agree.
To go spoiler free. Spoiler filled.
We need to go full on. The minute you walk in, spoilers are going to hit, because I have only been able to talk.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I need to see it a second time before that. I absolutely need to. So don't worry, guys. That is coming But moving on before we say something that
I'm just going to be pumped to do that one for the simple fact that I haven't talked to anybody in depth about it yet, and
because I just saw
between
it,
you and me, and then Jesse saw it like Thursday night, and I haven't even really had a time to sit down and talk to him about it. So if we do that, I'm going to be like, "Oh, we're on. I'm going to do it." So,
absolutely,
yeah, can't wait.
All right, so we got up here. The next thing, we finally got the PowerCon exclusive Mysteries of Grayskull box set. Oh, maybe. Tape it. Beautiful upside down artwork. It's
nice.
Oh, what do you call that? Where it's raised, it's bumpy. I know there's a term for it. I can't think of it.
Jeez.
Yeah, right.
I can't think of it either. Yeah.
But yeah, all the creatures are that raised, textured.
Mm-hmm.
It's got all the vintage monsters on there. Very
embossed.
Nice. Embossed. Thank you. What's this? I gotta assume it's Axel, but I'm not 100% on that. And then on the inside, we got the underside of the dungeon grate, you know. So you got like the back of the wolf, whereas here it's the front of the wolf.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty nice. And then of course you got your pack outs in there. Yeah. You got on the back, it's got the vintage style.
The scroll and everything.
Scroll, with the 3 pieces. So let's see if we can't bust some of this open here. And then, of course, it is the PowerCon version, so it comes with the PowerCon exclusive trading cards. I believe there's 3 in each set. And unfortunately, I will not have the complete set because I only bought the Mysteries of Grayskull pack for myself. Which, honestly, if I'd known there were trading cards, I probably would have bought all of them for myself. Just to get the cards. Because while the front is that this is the wonderful Axel artwork. This one comes with Man-at-Arms, Beastman, and Merman. But then the back, you can fit them together to make the Castle Grayskull box art. I don't think these pieces actually. Yeah, those two go together. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it connects to form the Castle Grayskull box art, of which I will have a third of. And not even the most interesting third. I guess I got Manny Faces and the cats and that, but alright, let's see here. So we've got the Dungeon Grate, which clips into the Origins Castle Grayskull playset. Featuring the grate up top that does swing up, and then you can take the Orlax or the part thereof that comes with this, fits into a little slot there like it's attacking out. Is a little bit of bendy. I like how that fits in either. That probably snaps in better, but I'm not messing with it right now. Is a little bit of a bendy tentacle, not super bendy, but there is some give there. And then, of course, the eye. That's that. The Orlaxa Primaria. Oh, I hate twist ties. Yeah, you think a good podcast host would have done all this beforehand. But that's not how we are here at Legends of Grayskull.
We're fly by the seat of the pants.
Absolutely.
That's how it works. I believe in you.
I believe. There we go. Then we've got the space suit. they call it? What they call it? Yeah, Explorer spacesuit, ancient cosmic armor in origin style. And he is actually pretty well done. He's a fully articulated figure this time. Lots of detail. Seems like new parts, really. The armor and everything. His wrist rocket does move. Oh, and it comes off, actually. So he can hold it as a gun as well. That'd be a little missile.
Nice.
Tanks. Yeah, lots of newly sculpted pieces. The boots are obviously trap jaw on that, but yeah, all the armor and everything looks to be, brand new. The head does come off, so you could put anybody in the armor that you wanted to. So that's a lot of fun there.
That's definitely that's one place where Origins did trump classics for me. Is at least it's a fully articulated figure compared to it just being a hollowed out shell you're just going to put in the corner or whatever. But
or a piece of cardboard like the vintage.
Exactly, but I mean, can't lie that we're coming, like you said, we're coming up on Christmas in literally days here. And one of my, I guess it was my fourth Christmas was when I got Grayskull. So there is that feeling of right now of like, yeah, but I still liked that when I was a kid. It didn't bother me that much. But back in the 80s, you gave a kid a piece of cardboard and we usually could have some creativity behind it anyway compared to nowadays.
And then, of course, the piece de resistance. What makes the whole set for me is the spirit of Grayskull.
Now you have two options on that because you got the test shot and you got this one.
Dun dun dun.
That's the cool part. Both of those work in one way or another.
They do. I actually kind of prefer the all clear plastic on the test shot. If only he didn't have the gaudy pink arms, wisps. But yeah, he's really cool. I kind of wish the dark green wasn't as prevalent. That's probably what kind of detracts it. But other than that, it turned out very nice. The tentacles, the smoke strands are actually a much more flexible on here than they are on here. This guy's a little more rigid on the plastic they used. It's kind of like the Orlax. It's got some give, but not as much. Whereas this one is, it's free jiggling here for those of you who are just listening to us. But other than that, like I said, all that sculpt really comes through. I will say, this guy does not photograph well. And I've seen the complaints online about how, and even right here, looking at it on camera right now, as we're recording it, a lot of the details do feel like they're lost. But looking at it in person, it all shines through. So he does not photograph well at all. Okay, I'm just throwing that out.
It would depend. Yeah, looking at that, I almost feel like it would depend if you have a lighting source maybe behind it.
Yeah.
And then that might help emphasize it a little bit more because it would pick up, like you're showing it can work. And if there was like a bright enough light source behind it to make it feel like it's glowing, it would probably help with that. But honestly, I'm with you where the clear from me seeing it on video, the clear definitely pops better than that one. But it's still cool. It's got that almost like a smoky kind of a feel to it. Like,
yeah. And especially when I'm looking at it right here, I'm just looking at it because that dark green that I'm pointing out here, which I know you see too, like that line right in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't even notice that here looking at it. Like that's the craziness about this figure. So I can't even fully explain it to Shawn because he can't see it in hand here. But yeah, that dark green blends in a lot better, and it actually makes the eye socket pop in person, whereas when it's being photographed or in video, it makes it kills it. It's really
Yeah.
weird. So, but yeah, guys, it looks fabulous. Um, I have not seen if he glows yet. I don't think he does, but that would have been cool. I know my test shot does not, but
Hmm.
yeah. So that'll be the next thing to test out. But yeah, they definitely knocked it out of the park. Looks fabulous, and now I have two spirits to
There you
play with.
go.
Ah, good times. 'Tis the season.
I'll give them props. I mean, like I said, Classics did do good stuff with what they did, but then when I see stuff like that, I'm like, man, if they could have just waited a little longer to get that in the Classics, that would have been like the, crown jewel on everything that I feel that line had done. And it's still cool they did it, and it would work with Classics, to be honest. So,
Yeah, I
um,
really feel like Origins is kind of finding its place.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm still not collecting. Definitely not collecting all of it. I have been finding myself picking up a little bit more here and there, but regardless, it feels like they're finding what they want to be and who they want to target and all that. You know what I mean? Whereas early in the line, it was basically just like vintage, add 8 points of articulation. Vintage, add 8 points of articulation. And now they're really kind of they're doing their own things. They're getting into some deep cuts. They're listening to the fans.
Yep.
I can't really explain it. It just kind of feels like the well, we said it on the show. Like at first, it seemed very unsure where they wanted to go with this line, and it just seems like they figured it out now and they're going for it. So,
Mm-hmm.
and that's refreshing. I give them mad props.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Why don't we go to listener feedback?
Uh-huh.
Mix it up a little bit here.
We're doing that because I didn't have printer paper. I didn't realize until right before we recorded, like an hour before. I'm like, oh, shit, we ran out of it like a couple weeks ago, and we haven't done listener questions and feedback for the last couple episodes.
Yep.
So now it's like, okay. Hopefully Santa gets me some printer paper come Saturday. We'll see what happens.
And we do have 10 comments here, so that's pretty good. So let's get through them. So we got Manny Gonzalez. Welcome back, Manny. It's been a while since you dropped something here.
Yeah.
No question, but wanted to thank you guys for a fun year. Merry Christmas. Look forward to the next year's fun. So thank you, Manny. We are looking forward to the next year as well, and it should be a lot of fun. Scott Baker. Merry Christmas, guys. Wishing you and yours the best. Right back at you, Scotty. JP Casto. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, guys. Looking forward to the new episode. Thank you, JP, for all the support, and we hope this next episode does not disappoint you. Jacob Hicks. Did you get anything with all the Christmas sales on Origins and Masterverse? Also, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to both of you from the great state of Kentucky. Thank you, Jacob, our neighbor to the south. So, did you get anything?
I'm in Pennsylvania, but I did not. But that again is the collecting in me. But what was really cool the other day was I had the kids with me and we went Christmas shopping. Or actually, no, it was just me and my son. It wasn't my daughter. My daughter was with my wife doing their Christmas shopping. I was doing that with him. And we were in Walmart, toy aisle. He didn't have much interest in many things until we got to the He-Man section. And then he sat down on the floor and started looking at everything and pointing out everything he wants.
Let me guess.
That was
the CGI figures, right?
Yes.
Those things are amazing, actually. I love those guys.
I haven't set foot in a Target or a Walmart probably in going on close to 6 months right now.
Wow.
I don't get out much, number one. And number two, with everything that I am collecting, there's no reason to go to those stores because of my pre-orders and all that stuff. And that was the first I got to even see them, other than videos and photos. And the minute I saw He-Man, I go, look, it's He-Man. I was doing like that. And then he's like, cool. And then he sees He-Man on the Road Ripper, and that was the one that he wanted. And then he wanted the Snake Mountain playset, and I'm like, this is cool. Here I am geeking out with my kid, and my kid's right there with me getting into it. And I'm like, this is the good stuff.
Yeah, I love those CGI figures. They are just so great. Well sculpted, lots of character, and they're moving. With my new job, I'm in at least one Walmart every day, and they are churning through some product. They are restocking. It is selling. It's moving. It's amazing, and it's good to see. And I know some people are going to say, well, yeah, it's moving. Masters fans buy anything. And yeah, I'll agree with that. But at the rate it's moving, I can't believe it's just adult collectors. Because I've only seen Wave 1. I've never even seen the new waves. It's He-Man, Skeletor, and Trapjaw that are constantly moving. Like, I doubt any of us collectors are, yeah, we bought our He-Man and our Skeletor, but I doubt we bought 3 of them, 4 of them, 5 of them. You know what I mean? And and actually, He-Man seems to be the peg warmer. Trapjaw goes real quick. Man-at-Arms is so short-packed when he shows up. I've never seen him. And then Skeletor is usually sold out within a day or two. That's still a great design of Skeletor. I love that design.
Agree. I was actually re-listening to our CGI review episode, and I remember I had to pick him as my least favorite redesign. And I'm listening to it going, I know why I said that, but I don't agree with you anymore, Shawn. Why are you talking this crazy? But yeah, no, I'm right there with you. Like, just seeing those actually got me excited, and that shocked me because I've seen them, videos, photos, and it's like, oh, those are cool. But the minute I saw it in the store, I'm grabbing it, and I'm like, I kind of looked at Hayden, and I'm like, you want to buy it? Like, come on, we can get this He-Man. And then he didn't have an interest in that, but when he saw the Road Ripper and the fact that he could get a motorcycle with He-Man, and then I'm just like, I get it. And then I was doing the whole, but did you notice his coloring's not the same as it is on the show? So get the solo one. And I started pulling that whole thing. And because when I was a kid, I was that kid where I'd look at it and go, but that's not what he looks like on the show. They messed up the coloring and all that stuff. But over at Target the other day, though, I was there and I was shocked how much Masters they had.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's feast or famine, because over at Walmart, at least the local one for me, it's like He-Man's not the Master stuff is going, but then when you go to Target, they had like 10 fakers for Masterverse, and that shocked the heck out of me. Again, haven't been in the stores, haven't seen it, and there he is. And I even pointed him out to Hayden, and Hayden's like, cool, he got to see faker and all that, but. I mean, it's. I've seen there are deals out there right now, and I mean, there's some people that are worried. Oh God, they're already on clearance and this and that. But I mean,
it's just sales, people.
It's always that, and there's always the oh dear God, everything's gonna. It's the Chicken Little syndrome, basically.
Yeah, all the stores in my area have actually been really well stocked for the holidays. They're usually not, but the past month or so, they've really stocked the whole aisle up. Like, it actually looks like a toy aisle again. There's not a lot of holes and dead space, so that's been refreshing to see. I also have not gotten anything because I'm a fool and I don't wait hoping they'll go on sale, and I just get everything I want as it comes out because, like Shawn said, we're used to feast or famine. We're used to it they release it, it's there, it's gone, they move on to the next wave,
Yeah.
I'm still looking for a Jake the Snake from the Masters of the WWE because that wave never showed up in my area and they never re-release any of it, So
Yeah.
So I've just been trained to if I see it, I want it, I get it,
Yeah.
It would
exactly.
be nice to be able to feel like I could wait around for the sales, but I don't feel comfortable taking that chance.
Yeah, and again, sure, Target had the stuff, but I'm also there on a day when I'm with my son and I'm having to buy stuff for the family for Christmas,
Right.
not sit there and buy it for me. And then if I get something for me, then he gets the idea of then I can get these things too, and leads into a whole cluster.
Yeah.
So we didn't go there, thankfully. But
absolutely.
But it is out there, so that's cool.
All right, next we got Jeremy DeWitt, Group Expert. Jeremy
Group
DeWitt.
Expert.
He says, "Merry Christmas, you filthy animals."
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Merry Christmas to you and yours as well, Jeremy. As well as your life partner, Stephen Bishotti.
Yeah.
Clint Fogey wishes us a Merry Christmas and a Happy Yule season. Merry Christmas, Clint. We hope you get everything you wanted this year. Sorry, I got a cat attacking my mug on the other side of the camera, so to you guys it just looks like I'm a fool.
This is part of the fun of recording with you. Sometimes your cat will make a little cameo in the background, or sometimes it's like this where I'm like, why are you adjusting your webcam?
I was just telling my wife about that she'll just hop in the background or right over the keyboard. She's in heat right now too, so that's...
Oh dear Lord. You're in that phase.
Lots of meowing. Yes. We couldn't get an appointment to get fixed until next month, so yeah.
I don't miss that time. Mine ruins so many things because they like to mark their territory. I'm like, oh, you guys are...
She hasn't done that yet. We're knocking on wood, but she's just been very pestery and that.
Yeah. Love it.
See here. Jason Torrance. Welcome back, Jason. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to both of you and your families. I do have a question for the pod. If, fingers crossed, they do decide to do a second season of Revelation, what would you like to see in it? I would like to see where they go with the Prince Adam-Tila relationship. Keep up the great work on the podcast. I am always either listening while I am walking my dog or watching it on YouTube. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you as well, Jason. Thank you for always commenting in with a question and everything. We do appreciate it.
Definitely.
So second season of Revelation. And I'm going to say, where do you want... Because I know we kind of did this, what would we like? And, I was like, oh, well, let's do some side stories and stuff. But his sounds more like, where's this storyline going? What do you want to see out of this? Take it away, Shawn.
I mean, honestly, when you end it the way that they ended it with the horde implication, I do want to see the horde, because once you drop that in the bucket, it's like, okay, now you're talking about, with the action on this show and also the more adult nature of this show, you can do some darker stuff with the horde than you've ever been able to do. You could turn them into a threat where it could make it quite interesting. And a little more the way I viewed the horde as a kid versus how Filmation and the Netflix She-Ra show even did it. So if they go there, and they did spooky enough stuff just in that scene to let you know this is their little, their calling card for next season. I'm way more interested in seeing that take shape and how that's going to be presented, especially with it being... I'm actually done calling it a spiritual sequel. Even I'm just going to call Revelation. This is the toy line animated, because that's what they keep coming back to. This is what Mattel can do legally, and it's based more around the toys than it's based on anything else. And it's like, okay, well, the toys could do some pretty interesting stuff and do some dark stuff with certain characters. So let's see what happens.
I agree, and I really hope that they play up the Horde. You know, go deep into the kind of cult aspect, the mind control, I mean, that's what the Horde was all about, right? It's like enslaving these races, taking them in, that whole the original pitch was that bat creature worked as mind control and everybody was enslaved in the Horde. And they kind of went away from that, but still, I really like those kind of themes. You got the Magna Beam that's powered by sapping the will of people that they have subjugated, like that, play into that. The draining energy, it's like a cult. It's like when you are in the Horde, you are all in the Horde. All of Trapjaw and Triclops is like, all hail Motherboard, and like that's all hail the Horde. Really, they got this whole thing around it. And again, I just want to reiterate, just don't make it the Horde is trying to end the universe. I am so sick of end the universe. And now that's not... Revelation did a very good job of it. But again, they've done it. Eternity War did it. Netflix She-Ra did it. Like, okay, we get it. End the universe. Got it. I really would much rather see them do the Horde and do it. The Horde is enslaving Eternity. They don't want to end the universe. They want... The Horde is numbers. It's all a number game. That's what... To me, that's always what separated the Horde from Skeletor. It's like, no, we may not even... We got some great warriors. But if nothing else, I am just going to send wave after wave after wave of flunkies at you. Because I have the numbers. And I don't care how many you chop down, because there's always another wave coming. And we are just going to overwhelm you. That's what I want to see.
I'm hoping even that they can go to Despera, just because that is a toy. That was a DC deal with the Eternity Ward storyline, but then it's also so it's like they have that at their fingertips. We can actually have a very darker version of Adora's fate.
Yes.
And that is something that I'll eat up like crazy, because I've been waiting for that ever since they said she's been a Horde, Force Captain Adora and all that stuff. It's like, I never liked the Filmation version because I always thought it should be darker. This is your chance. And they already did it in the comics. So this is your chance to do it animated and really have some weight and have it really be some grittiness and some darkness to that. Because you can't tell me that somebody who has been basically mind screwed, not going to that way, but screwed over in your head that long isn't going to have some dirt under their fingernails at the very least.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm hoping for something along those lines as well. And the funny thing is, and this is how my mind always works, is the more that we talk about the future of this, the more I feel like it makes me go, what? They could have talked more about that in the first season for some reason, because we only had that quick cameo of Horde Skeletor, which that's still blowing up on some of the fan groups going, I like that design. What's this version? Who is it? It's like, it's in the prequel book. But if you didn't read that, you don't know that's him when he's in the Horde. And the idea of all the implication of that with Skeletor and his history with that. And it's like, there are some things that it would be nice if they would have delved into them a little bit more, or stay away from them so they could be brought across in the new season, maybe, and have it clear. I will say
that right quick too before we move on is I want to see. Obviously, I think it's very intentional that they left She-Ra out of this first part, even to say there was no reference to even she might be out there somewhere. And then with the Horde, like, I feel the same way. They're setting up the spar and all that, which is great. I really want to see that. It's the She-Ra that I've always had in my mind. I've always kind of felt that was a little bit more how it would have gone,
Mhm.
if the show wasn't made in the 80s with all the
Yeah.
censorship and everything else. But for season 2, I'd like to see some more back to basics. Let's get some more of the core team together. You know what I mean? Let's really get some Ram Man, some Stratos, some Buzz Off. The cameos were great, but that is one thing I will say. Season 1 really felt like, and it felt like Filmation that way because it was He-Man, Tila, and Man at Arms. Like I'd
Mhm.
really like them. I'd like to get a little bit more 2000X in there, Mike Young Productions. Like let's get, especially if it's the Horde. Like we're gonna need some numbers. So let's have Mechanic with us. Let's have Fisto, or well, not Fisto anymore. Sorry, buddy.
Manny faces. Yeah, I know, but
But you know what I mean. Like let's actually
yeah.
get some warriors, and instead of just like oh, there he is during this battle. Like no, we need our team. Let's go,
Mhm.
Masters of the Universe. So
No, I agree
I'd really like
completely.
to see that. And last up we have Mr. Skelly Vader. Thank you, Skelly Vader, on your 1-year anniversary of commenting
Yeah.
with us. He says, I hope I'm not too late to ask a question. No, we record very late. You're fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, here goes. If Netflix decided to produce 3 spin-off shows based on characters we saw in Revelation, which 3 character-focused shows would you each want to see? Also, what would you want to see as the primary plot for each one? Also, Merry Christmas. You guys are awesome. No, Skelly, you're awesome. And thank you for tuning in. Alright, so 3 spin-off shows based on characters we saw in Revelation. And the primary plot for each one. Man, he really man, not just 1. He wants 3. This thing is going big.
Yeah, that's what like staggered me when I read that one. I'm like, okay, 1 maybe, 2, 3. Oh God!
Nope, we got 3. Here we go. First off, well, okay, and actually maybe not. Well, I guess it doesn't necessarily have to take place afterwards, but the spinoff could be a prequel as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because I really want to see. I want to see one on Triclops and how he, after Skeletor's death, how he formed the cult. Met the motherboard and got the people, took over Snake Mountain. Like right there, like that's a freaking season right there. Just Triclops and his journey from, evil warrior to cult leader.
Yeah, I could see that. I've said this many times, and I'll say it again. I would love for there to be a spinoff where it is the Champions of Eternia, and you have you could actually do multiple seasons. One season be King Grayskull, next season be Vigor, next season be Wundar, and even Kodak Ungol or whoever that was with them in Eternia. Was that real? Yeah, that was.
Yeah, you got it.
And I like that idea that could be like an anthology that you could have spinning out of this, because Lord knows, again, Fisto, Clamp Champ, and them were all done dirty for me in the second part.
Yes.
And I loved them enough in the 1 episode we got that I could really enjoy. And they even had other characters that we don't even know the names of them. And they just posted Powerhouse. Posted some of them,
guys.
and the Heroes of Eternia when they're at the campfire.
Yep.
It's like right there, you have plenty for multiple seasons, and each season could focus on a different character if you wanted to go there.
Sure.
So that would definitely be one of my absolute yes pleases on my list.
I don't want to set everything. See, for me, a lot of it comes from, like, I could do a bunch of characters and just seeing, like, what they did between the death of He-Man and when we pick back up with him, like, between episodes 1 and 2, because, like, we had that whole time jump. So, like, that's where my mind's going instinctively.
Mm-hmm.
I'll throw an honorary mention out there, just for our group expert Jeremy DeWitt. I want to see a spin-off series with Beastman and Man-at-Arms living in the forest together
The Odd Couple.
after he's kicked out of the royal palace. So, yeah, see what them as roommates, the Odd Couple, what kind of antics they got into. Yep, exactly.
I could see that. Let's see. Is that your second one? You're giving?
Yeah,
I'm
going to make that my second one.
All right,
Go ahead.
All right. Just make it fair. Just make it sure.
Yeah, no. I'm serious, Jeremy. I really do want to see that. I never thought I did, but after listening to you guys over on Podcast of the Universe, I'm like, you know what? Yep. I need that in my life.
Let me think here. I'm trying to think of characters that they made interesting on the show. That I loved how they did Orko. And I've said it many times in our reviews, but he's a character that I don't need to see what he did between the death of He-Man and where we picked up. I actually want to see what it's like now that he's back, because obviously originally he's always the screw up, and in this version that came back from the dead, which that's still mind blowing to me that we missed that call. I still like that we missed that call, because I still feel that wasn't exactly how it worked out. But long story short, I would love to see him now and see that progression, because he is a character that they let progress to become something greater, and especially when he was needed. And I like that, and just seeing him gaining confidence again, seeing him getting back and appreciating what he has and all that kind of stuff. And he's a great like point person, because he interacts with a lot of characters. So you'd have, like you probably have him going and like working with Teela as she's becoming the new sorceress and figuring out her duties and all this stuff. You have him with Man-at-Arms again for a comedic episode, him with Adam doing an adventure. So that one would definitely, I mean, as long as Griffin Newman is voicing him, you got my attention, because Griffin Newman gave so much soul to that character that I'm still in awe of that performance.
100%. God. I'm trying to think of somebody that I want to see, kind of after. And that's the hardest part, because I feel like everyone who's left, like, we're gonna see their stories. Yeah, I guess I'd have to go with Evil Lynn. Like, where, we saw her depart for Tralla. What does that mean even? And this could tie in a bit to what you were saying with Orko too, but Tralla's a big question mark to me. I mean, there was the doubts as to whether any of them could survive without the magic in the universe. So yeah, probably following Evil Lynn and discovering what is going on Tralla. I'm sure that would bring Orko into the mix as well, which was a really nice pairing in the first parts of season 1. So yeah, I think following her journey could definitely lead to some answers for us about the series, and see some great Orko moments as well. So I'll go with Evil Lynn on that one.
All right, now for my last one, I have a weird one, and I'm glad I came up with a weird one, because it really is something that I didn't expect to want. I want to see whatever the story is that fable that they showed in part 2 of the Falcon getting bitten by the snake and the ram and everything. Which I want to see.
We will be getting more into that in episode 81, folks.
Well, that's fine. But I really want to see what that story is, because I honestly have this like, there's a reason that's told, and there's a reason that is is what it is in the show, and I'd like to see the actual characters play it out instead of the symbols that they used in it, because I have questions of, obviously I think King Hiss would be one of them, but then beyond that, who's playing the other roles in that, and show me what that means within the Eternian lore, because you went there, you might as well, clarify it and expand upon that. And that would be an interesting, like, I don't need it to be a 10 episode arc. They could do maybe 6 and have that told, but it would be a cool spin-off idea. Yeah.
And give us some answers. That's all we need.
Yep.
Completely agree. All right. Thanks, everybody, for writing in. We really appreciate it.
And happy holidays and Merry Christmas to everybody who wished us that as well. So
absolutely. So now a question from me to you. If you could sit on Santa's lap right now and ask for one item from Masters of the Universe, past, present, future, whatever. I'm thinking more like toy, collectible, like, just saying. I don't want you to be like, well, I'd ask him for the power sword. Like, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, like one thing from Master Universe to add to your collection, what would it be?
That's the thing. I'm at the point with a lot of this where I want something that you just couldn't find on the shelves anymore, because it would mean more, I think. Right. And I'd have to say I would love to get some of those big, almost like the statues that the Four Horsemen have in their studio that I've seen people like. And like if I got Trapjaw, or if I got Skeletor, or I'd say those two would be the absolute. If I had to choose any of them, if they laid all the initial characters out from the 2000X line, I would probably go to either of them first, and then probably He-Man would be 4th or 5th down the line, because Man-at-Arms would also be pretty high up on that list. But having something like that where it's one of a kind, or there's very few of them at least, that would definitely be high on my list of, if it was possible, that would be amazing.
No, I actually do think those are one of a kind. I think those are the only ones, is the ones that they have. So, yeah, those would be awesome. I also went for something incredibly unique and that I have no room for. And cool. I want that giant He-Man statue that they used at San Diego Comic-Con for many years. I want to put that out in my yard and just have it.
I actually, for some reason, when you said that, I'm like, I bet you're going to say that, because that is, that, like you said, it's extremely unique. I mean, and that was something that, with me wishing I could have gone to PowerCon this year, I was like, if they have that there, I'm taking my picture next to it every freaking day.
Yeah. They didn't have it. They've had it in years past. It sat outside the Mattel store for a while. And even at the Comic-Cons, it went through a life cycle. It was King Grayskull, it was Hero, I think it was Prince Adam, and it was He-Man. Like they like changed and repainted it and added stuff over the years to, cycle through it. But yeah, that would be awesome. That thing's got to be up. At least, 10, 12 foot tall? Like, probably 12 foot with the sword. That's
I think it might even be a little taller than that. I'm thinking of the photos I've seen of it, and usually I'd say, somebody probably my height or taller than me. I'm 5'9", so it's like somebody probably maybe going into the 6 foot range. They look like they usually get up to about the stomach on He-Man. So you got to figure, like you said, it probably 12 to 14 foot tall, I guess. That's pretty crazy.
That's awesome. And
hey, speaking, go ahead.
No, go.
Well, I was gonna say, speaking of which, actually, I don't think, did we talk about this on any episodes lately? We have now a new location of PowerCon, of all things, and that's pretty crazy to think. Now it's not all the way across America.
I thought we did. I thought we talked about an Off-World, but I could be wrong. But yeah, it's going to be in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, which is oddly seems to be about the halfway point between us, which I have to believe that's not a coincidence. I mean, I think Val sat down and he's like, I really want Legends of Grayskull to be there.
They got to be in the same room one of these days.
And he's like, well, I can't. He's like, if I take it to Matt, that's far for Shawn. If I take it to Shawn, that's far for Matt. So he probably sat down. He's like, okay, Columbus, because that's pretty much
right down on the map.
Right there. He had his protractor and his compass, and he was,
Yeah.
Because it's I think it's about a 5.5 hour drive for either of us. Maybe
it was
on your end.
I think it might be 5 hours 45 minutes or something from my house.
Yeah, I mean it's probably about the most like equidistant for both of us. But I mean that's a very manageable drive. I mean 5 hours, so it's kind of it's nice because for me and where I'm at with all the changes this year, like PowerCon in California was going to be a no-go. There was no way I could get out there. And now it's like, all right, maybe I can't go for all 3 days, but I could probably at least get down there. I mean, that's even 5 hours to spend the day there isn't the worst drive I've ever done, But I could probably squeeze 2 days easily. So that's a lot of fun. It is a little unclear how much of a PowerCon it's going to be at this point, though. And that's about the only thing that worries me. They're calling it the, America's largest toy show. And, they've taken the He-Man She-Ra out of it. Like, they're there. But it's, they've got Bratz and they've got Turtles and they got Barbie and all this and that. Like, they're really billing it as a toy show so far, which is kind of odd because to me, PowerCon's always been so much more. Yeah, they got the vendor side, which is phenomenal. Yeah. But to me, it's so much more than just that. It does seem like they're going to do some panels and stuff, though, so I'm waiting for those to be announced before I really pass judgment. But but that's why I went. I went to meet fellow fans, and I went for the panels and, the info. So I'm really hoping that's still a part of it.
Yeah, obviously I won't get that experience this year like you had, but for me, it's the same as Legion's Con, where, I know Jesse was having his hemming and hawing about it, and I just was like, I'm going to see people that I want to meet. I'm not worrying about all the other things you're worrying about. And that's the thing that got him to go with me to Legion's Con.
Right.
And it's the same thing for me in this case. It's like, it doesn't have to be completely He-Man and She-Ra. It matters who's showing up at the event. And already between you and me, Jesse, I know podcasters are seriously considering it. Nate Barch the other day was like, I'll see you in Ohio.
Oh, yeah, he'll be there.
Rob Bass
the Horseman will be
some
there,
other
I'm
people.
Sure.
And I'm like, right off the bat, you got my money, because if I get to shake hands again with Nate Barch, if I get to shake hands with Rob Bass, happiness ensues. It's simple as that. So.
How can you look into Nate's eyes without getting lost in them?
I'm just saying it didn't happen to me. It was more I just felt manlier shaking his hand and feeling like when you're a little kid and you shake a guy's hand and you're feeling like, hey, I'm a big guy today. That's how I felt doing that with him, because he's, number one, he's really tall, and number two, he's just got that Nateness about him.
That's what I mean.
It's very the swagger of the man from out west.
He wrestles cattle. I mean, he's got to. I mean, he's cowboy boots.
He's got that,
and he's just.
And he's got the assured smile. It's that.
That's what I'm saying. That's
you see
those eyes, that smile. He just
Yep.
That's what I'm saying.
His hat and gives you the little thing.
You see what I see. Don't try and act like you don't.
I saw it, but I just felt like I grew up a little that day. Like, I'm not 5'9" today. I just made 5'10".
Nah, they're good people. Rob's hilarious. Everybody. It should be
Yeah.
it should be a good time regardless. It just I guess the biggest thing is right now it's I mean Masters is at the height of its popularity, I dare say, since the 80s. I mean, with
Mm-hmm.
everything is kind of going for it right now, multiple successful toy lines, two successful shows, comics. It really feels like this is kind of the second coming of He-Man, and this is the point where PowerCon goes, yeah, we're gonna try and get more into an all brand type of thing. It's really odd timing, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. This is something I would have expected back when nothing was happening for the property.
Yeah. No,
So
I can understand that, and I mean, we're not privy to any behind the scenes information, so it's not like we know what the deal is. And I definitely could see why you're saying that. But I think the other thing about that to me is, hey, it gives it even more visibility, at least then, by having it be about more than just that. Even though the brands are pretty popular and topical, especially with clickbait stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's like, that is definitely something where my kids are tuned into it now more than they were even before, when Dad was just collecting his classics and going crazy and all that. So
I agree. I guess my thing is, I wonder if this was Val's decision or if Mattel was trying to place some restrictions on, since they are doing so much now. I
mm-hmm.
wonder if Mattel was kind of like, hey, look, either you need to do this, and this, or you need to just, stop making a He-Man She-Ra convention. You know what I mean?
It wouldn't surprise me if that is part of the problem. And I mean, it's a better, like, for us, that's actually a good problem to have, because now it turned into the result being something where we can manageably do this without having to spend, like $3,000 to make it work this year, which is really cool. But I've said it how many times, and I agree. I still agree with that thinking. Is, it's like, it's a brand to Mattel, and Mattel is always going to be a corporation. They're not going to be, like, the fandom keeping this alive all that time. And now that it has the exposure it has, it doesn't surprise me if that would have been a call they made. And that's why they made the call that they made to make this into a more inclusive deal. But we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm planning on going, and I don't think anything's going to stop me, unlike this year. And and then on top of that, we'll be able to see how it does work out. We'll definitely have a post PowerCon chat, or maybe even have something while we're out there. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, we'll be prepared, and I'm sure there'll be. I mean, we've got until August.
Yeah.
4th and 5th. I think towards the beginning of August. So I mean, we've got time. There's gonna be lots of announcements. There'll be lots of talk here on Legends of Grayskull. Though we'll be covering it. Don't you worry, guys.
We will.
All right. I guess the last thing I got is I got a letter in the mail.
A letter.
So this is an interesting one. I haven't seen a lot of these lately, but they were a lot more prevalent when I was growing up, and this is kind of the Christmas newsletter. You send out, Mom or Dad writes it, you send it out.
Little Jimmy played baseball this year.
Right.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Sally went to that special school. I'm going to pretend that it's for gifted students, but really she got pregnant and we hid her over there for a while. Yeah, that's those letters,
Yes, those.
But this one is interesting because it arrived. It was dropped off by a guy riding a robotic armored horse. And it was simply addressed to the Legends of Grayskull via Royal Eternian airmail. So, yeah, it was
there. We go.
So let's read through it and let's see what's up with one of our favorite families on Eternia.
This I gotta hear.
To my dearest friends, family, and constituents. As we are now close to the holiday my wife refers to as Christmas, I felt like it was my royal duty to fill everyone in on what's been happening with the royal family. It has been a busy and exciting year, even without counting the numerous plots by that overlord of evil, Skeletor. Twice this year, he actually made it onto my throne! Luckily, we had our great champion He-Man to save us. Our mightiest hero was quick to throw that demon right back to Snake Mountain. While we don't know where this mysterious hero came from, we are all fortunate he is around when evil threatens. Unlike some members of my family.
Oh, he's still on that, huh?
This guy.
This guy.
I could go on and on about He-Man's great accomplishments, but I will leave that to his father's letter. On to my own family. Marlena has had a wonderful year. She has been exceptional in her duties as queen, while making sure to take time for her own hobbies. She has now become certified in every vehicle in our fleet, including, most recently, the Talon Fighter. She is an amazing pilot, wife, and mother, and exceeds at everything that she does. Adora is still off-world, fighting for the freedom of her people. Chip off the old block, that one. Makes me so proud seeing her lead the Great Rebellion and living up to her family name. Although she doesn't get home as much as we would like, we think of her often. She has said next time she comes, she would like to bring her friend Seahawk. We wonder what that's all about. Could there be a proposal in her future? I know Marlena would love some grandbabies running around the palace. Goddess knows waiting on Adam to settle down is a futile endeavor. Speaking of Adam.
Here he goes.
He is fine. His lack of studies is only matched by his propensity for fishing. Someday he may step up to be the leader we need, but I can't help but feel like it's far away. That brings us to myself. It has been an interesting year. My closest friend Duncan recently announced his intention to retire as my man-at-arms. While I wish him the best, now I must start interviewing for his replacement. Not an easy task. As most of you know, I also had a recent health scare after a run-in with the Orlaxa primaria. With my family's love and support, I pulled through it, and am now feeling better than ever. Here's hoping that is the closest we'll come to tragedy for a while. All in all, it has been a great year, and we look forward to the next. Merry Christmas to you and yours, from your king and friend, Randor.
Oh, isn't that nice? I was waiting to see if you signed it Randy.
We're not that
good
close.
Old Randy. No, that's true. That's true. I'm sorry, Your Highness.
That was back in the academy. So
yeah, he'll throw me in the Eternian dungeon if I say that in front of his face. I'm sure. So. No good. I don't want to be there.
That's good to hear that all is well. That Orlac sounds scary. Hopefully that nothing too bad will happen after that.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll have to see. Maybe we'll know something next episode, but I won't venture a guess at this point. So. All
right, guys. I think that's about all we got. Anything before we sign off here, Shawn?
I mean, obviously, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate, happy that at this point. And you want to? We talked New Year's resolutions last year. You want to go there because we're not going to air another episode until after the New Year, I think. any that are popping up for you that you're like, hey, I want to do this year or in 2022?
For me personally, I'll say I don't really feel like I accomplished this year's resolution. So
mine was bit the dust pretty quickly too. So I get you.
yeah, honestly for me, it's just kind of on the same thread that I have been kind of since the beginning of 2020, really, and that's trying to better myself, trying to make healthier decisions, and trying to make time for the things I enjoy, whether that be spending time with my family or doing this show with you, like just trying to get some of me time as well. But to me, it's kind of a never ending thing at this point, and I've got good months, I've got bad months. The holidays, of course, are terrible for any sort of these resolutions, as you just got plates of cookies everywhere, and treats and everything else. So, but yeah, for me, it just I just resolved to stay the course. Try and find the joy, make time for friends and family, and make better decisions for myself.
There you go. Okay.
And for you?
For me, I actually made one in the last week that if I don't stick to it, the wife is going to probably put a gun to my head. And that one is not to take on any more freelance work for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
In the last couple months, I've had people reach out to me and they wanted me to do like logo designs or illustrations, and I love saying yes because it's the whole, wow, it's nice to feel wanted. It's nice to know that my abilities can help somebody. But then with my work schedule, with the family schedule the way it is, and then I shut down. It's like it's too much, and I don't have any time for anything else. And I've just come to that conclusion. I have to make time for me. I can't just always be on call to other people. And 2022 will be the year where I'm not going to try to do a commission. I'm going to do what's fun for me, and any time I have that isn't work related or family related, like you said, it's like I trying to do something that just makes me happy, enriches myself. And that I think is going to be easier to keep than, oh, I'm going to try to drink more water, I'm going to try to cut soda. It's like all of that stuff is because I'm not letting myself do the fun things for myself. So if I can do something enriching, I probably won't be needing that stuff to keep myself awake long hours or because I'm stress eating. So we'll see what happens there. But that's pretty much it. Just, trying to find that happiness with talent, instead of sitting here constantly like, man, I wish I could draw something today, but I have like 5 deadlines I got to hit, or else I feel like a jerk if I don't meet them or whatever. So yeah, it's weird to say it, but yeah, I'm just going to pull back on working and try to actually do something fun. So yeah.
Yeah. And like Shawn said, guys, this is going to be it. It'll be, this will be our last episode before the New Year's. And then basically after New Year's is our anniversary. And it'll be, we'll be starting our 3rd year. It's
that's nuts.
Yeah. And no matter how we slice it, Shawn, we'll be getting, I think, well, I mean, not anyway, but there's a very low chance that we don't hit episode 100 in this coming year. So, no matter how much we change up our frequency, I'm sure we'll get at least 20 episodes out in this coming year.
Well, that's cool.
We got big stuff planned for that. We're approaching 1,000 subscribers. I mean, it's a great time.
I did find it funny recently. We're talking about episode numbers. Masters Cast, the first He-Man and She-Ra podcast, as they like to claim the fame to be, they're only on the 70s right now, and they've been going at it for 15 years. When I found that out, it made me giggle. The last episode that they did, I was like, we just kind of beat them. And I'm not saying I'm not trying to be that guy, but it's like, yeah, we're trying to keep consistent. We're trying to, in 3
Right.
years, we
we've
are
been
already
going
here.
3 years.
That's awesome.
At our least frequent, we're going at least twice a month,
Yes.
So,
yeah.
And for a while there, we were really jamming it through. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, that's basically it. We want to be consistent, and we're just quantity over quality. So take that, Mastercast.
Exactly.
No.
No, I'm not trying to rile anybody up, but it was interesting to go like, you guys have been doing this 15 years. And wow, and it's like when you think of the frequency between us and podcasters, it's like, yeah, we definitely are enjoying the fact that we can do this and we have people that want to hear it, and we have a good little community out there. So,
right.
Thank you to our listeners and fans for going on 3 years now for support and for your contributions and everything.
That's great too. There's so much to draw from, and I like that we're not always like, hey, what's coming out this month? Because there are some months with nothing. I mean, this year has been, honestly, if anything, lately I'm getting a little, not really burnt out, but burn out of like, oh, here's a new release we have to talk about. Here's a new release we have to talk about. Like, I kind of liked our early episodes where it's like, oh, like, let's just jump back to 85. Well, let's do 83. Exactly. Let's do 91. And we really haven't gotten to do a lot of that lately because you kind of feel like you have to discuss. And our comments show it. Like, everyone wants us to talk about it because that's what's on everybody's mind. But definitely for the show, that's a resolution, is I want to make sure that we're still sprinkling in the, let's talk about a golden book. Let's talk about a Filmation episode, because, lately it has just been like, especially trying to keep up with it all is tough, so.
I think, next year exactly. Next year, the most we'll have to worry about is season 2 for the CGI show.
Yeah.
And other than that, we can start doing some more deep dives and remasterings again because I miss them. It's just that simple. And that's our claim to fame for what we want to do on the show. And it's like, darn you, Mattel and Netflix, for putting so much stuff out there that we get to talk about. But yeah, it would be nice to go back and go to the source again and to the roots of it too. So
don't be surprised though if there's not more next year. I think next year is going to be the year of that new Eternia concept. I think that's going to be. We know the Masterverse figures are coming. But I'm expecting at least a Netflix animated special or a comic mini-series. There's going to be something tying into that media related. I know there is.
I wouldn't put it past them, but this year was like you and I starting this show, we would not have expected this year to be the year it was. No, and here we are. So, like CGI He-Man, I'm completely on board. I'm excited for those, and I still find it funny that the fans are like, "We didn't think you'd like it as much as you did." It's like, "I'll bring it." Like I can't get enough of that series.
I can't either. It's so good. It's so well done. Oh, I can't wait. Actually, my daughter was just asking me tonight. She's like, "Do we know when the next episodes are coming out?" I'm like, "No." But with that series, they don't give us a lot beforehand. That's the one that just kind of like, oh yeah, by the way, next week we're dropping some episodes. Like, what? So I expect it to be that way again. They'll just be like, hey, yeah, we dropped it like 2 days ago. Didn't you guys notice? And I'll go, this time I will binge them all. I know I will because, at first I was just like, whatever, I'll watch it when I watch it. But after getting through that first season, I'm like, all right, this is too good. I gotta bump through this as soon as it's released now.
Exactly. Yeah. My son will be more than happy because he's chomping at the bit for that just as much as I am right now.
Absolutely. So. It's a good time. Good time to be a Masters fan. All right, Shawn, why don't you go ahead and take us into the new year?
All right. Well, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like, hit that bell. Get the notifications every time we post a new video. I'm rusty at this. We haven't done this in a couple episodes. Join our Facebook group, Legends of Grayskull Podcast. We got a nice little community on there, and we always love to talk shop with you. logpod85@gmail.com if you want to send in any email questions, comments, like Simba's Guard does. He's the only one, so if you want to be in an exclusive club, do that. We are also on Twitter, and I haven't posted a little while, so Twitter, logpod85, Legends of Grayskull Podcast on there. And until next time.
Until next time, guys. Watch out for the Krampus.
Nice.
Merry Christmas, guys. Happy holidays.